Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a question that has probably crossed your mind at least once, especially if you're a habitual knuckle cracker like me. What is actually happening when you get that satisfying pop from your fingers, your neck, or your back? Is it good for you? Is it bad for you? Let's crack this mystery wide open. First off, let's bust the biggest myth right away. That sound you hear is not your bones grinding against each other. If that were the case, it would be incredibly painful and cause serious damage. So, you can breathe a sigh of relief. Your joints aren't turning to dust every time you stretch your fingers. The real story is actually way cooler and involves a little bit of physics and chemistry happening right inside your body. Okay, so picture your joints like the ones in your knuckles. These are called synovial joints. They're like little biological hinges, and to keep them moving smoothly, they're filled with a special liquid called synovial fluid. Think of it as nature's perfect lubricant, like oil for an engine. It's thick, it's viscous, and its main job is to reduce friction between the cartilage of your bones, allowing you to move freely and without pain. Now, this synovial fluid isn't just a simple liquid. It contains dissolved gases, primarily nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon dioxide. These gases are just hanging out in the fluid, completely dissolved, kind of like the carbon dioxide in an unopened bottle of soda. Everything is stable, and the pressure is balanced. Here's where the magic happens. When you decide to crack your knuckles, what you're really doing is stretching the joint capsule. You're pulling the bones apart slightly, which increases the volume within that joint space. Now, basic physics tells us that if you increase the volume of a space without changing the amount of stuff inside, the pressure drops. This phenomenon is called cavitation. As the pressure inside your joint suddenly plummets, the gases that were happily dissolved in the synovial fluid can't stay dissolved anymore. They rapidly come out of the solution and form a tiny bubble or a cavity. It's the exact same principle as when you open a can of soda. The pressure is released and fizz. Bubbles of carbon dioxide form instantly. So, you've stretched your joint, created a low-pressure zone, and a gas bubble has formed. The sound, that distinct crack or pop, is believed to be the sound of that bubble collapsing on itself almost as quickly as it formed. It's a tiny, harmless implosion happening inside your joint. It's not a snap, it's a pop. And that's also why you can't immediately crack the same knuckle again. You have to wait for a while, usually about 15 to 20 minutes. Why? Because after the bubble collapses, those gases need time to dissolve back into the synovial fluid. Until they do, there's no gas available to form a new bubble. So no matter how hard you try to pull or bend, you won't get another pop. The joint needs to recharge, so to speak. Now, for the big question everyone asks. Does cracking your knuckles cause arthritis? This is probably the most persistent myth associated with the habit, and I'm happy to report that the science says no. Multiple studies have looked into this, including one famous case where a doctor cracked the knuckles of only one of his hands for over 60 years. 60 years. At the end of his personal experiment, he compared both hands and found no difference in the amount of arthritis between them. Large-scale medical studies have backed this up. They've compared groups of habitual knuckle crackers with people who never do it and have found no significant link between the habit and the incidence of osteoarthritis. Arthritis is a complex disease typically caused by factors like age, genetics, injury, and inflammation, not by the harmless popping of gas bubbles in your joints. So, is there any downside at all? While it doesn't cause arthritis, some research suggests that chronic forceful knuckle cracking might be linked to slightly reduced grip strength or some swelling in the hands over a very long period. However, for the average person, it's generally considered a harmless habit. The biggest problem with it is usually just that the sound can be really annoying to the people around you. It's pretty amazing to think about the intricate processes happening inside our bodies every single day, even with something as simple as a knuckle crack. It's a perfect example of biomechanics and fluid dynamics at play. It's not bones breaking, it's not cartilage grinding. It's just a tiny gas bubble doing its thing. So, the next time someone tells you to stop cracking your knuckles because you'll get arthritis, you can confidently tell them the real story. What other body mysteries do you want us to solve? Let me know down in the comments below. If you found this video interesting and learned something new, do me a huge favor and hit that like button. And of course, if you want more deep dives into how your amazing body works, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.